Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the final that's a lie, the final one of the season, the final deadline stream, should I say, of the season. That was a terrible intro, but we roll with it. I think maybe that shows that I'm ready for the break a little bit. There's lots going off today, isn't there? There's going to be early team news. We'll try and get you as much as possible for that. The big debate as well for this game week is who do you realistically captain? Do you look at a Haaland? Do you look at a Bruno Fernandes? Both of these players have absolutely nothing to play for, bar Bruno with that personal assist record. But is that maybe going to make him worse? Or do you go for somebody that's got a little bit of something on the line, maybe like a Jared Bowen, for example? That could be a decent pick heading into this game week. Or do you maybe look at one final go? Just give me one final day, ladies and gentlemen, of Mohamed Salah, or has he reached UNC status? And that is the end of him as an FPL pick. Before we dive into today's stream, if, of course, you do enjoy any of the content that you see on the channel, like, comment, subscribe. You know the drill by now. Get your votes in for captain poll as well. I'm very interested to see who people are looking at in terms of captaincy for this game week. Haaland currently leading, Bruno a second close, so we might have two players again over 100% effective ownership. So it could be a very, very spicy, swingy week as well. I'll try and keep you across any early team news that we do get. Haven't seen any as of yet, but of course, that can change throughout the course of today's stream. We'll be live till probably around about 12, half 12-ish. Then we'll let the big boys go and do their thing, as we always do. But if you want to continue chatting to me after the stream and getting any early team news, the best place to do it is over in the FPL Cartel Discord, where I can see Mark has already sent his team. So thank you very much. We will take a look at that in a second. Like I said, that is where all team reviews go. If you want to come join the FPL Cartel, link in the description for that one. Not only do we do team reviews down there, we do absolutely everything. Before we get into the stream as well, I do want to just say a massive thank you for everything that you guys have done for me this season. Pretty much just like doubled the subscribers. TikTok's gone off the roof. Instagram's absolutely flying as well. So honestly, I can't thank you enough for your continued support this season. We're going to be making World Cup content. We'll probably hit 30k over the World Cup or at the start of next season, which is unbelievable. So thank you very much. Who knows where we could end up? Again, if we double our subs, that could be very easily over 50,000, which would be unbelievable. So yeah, thank you very much for your continued support. It is really, really appreciated. And yeah, honestly, I can't thank you enough. Looking in the chat, who we got in here then? Salah's last game for us, so expecting some magic. Yeah, like I said, has he got that one final good game in there? He's definitely going to get an early sub because he's going to get, you know, a standing ovation and stuff like that. Best triple captaincy option. It depends who you ultimately believe is going to be the best captain for this game week. Villa, obviously on the booze. They're probably going to be a little bit ropey. Their betting data has absolutely flown down, by the way, since they won that final as well. So yeah, Haaland could be a decent shout. Bowen with a little bit of something to play for. Again, could it be Mohamed Salah, Bruno Fernandes? They're going to be the top picks for this game week. I only captained Mickey van der Ven because he got 23 points last time versus Everton. Maybe he's going to repeat it. I personally don't think he will, but you never know. You never know in these circumstances. Andy, welcome to the chat, mate. Thank you very much for being a big part of the channel this season. Really do appreciate all the mods as well that help out in the chat. So thank you very much, man. Really do appreciate your support as well. And obviously in here for most of the streams and watching the videos and commenting. Yeah, really, really appreciate it. Tati being a bit overlooked. Personally, for me, you go Bowen. You get everything with penalties, set pieces, DEFCON. You get everything with Bowen. You don't get that with Tati, in my opinion. And I removed him in game week 9. Whoops. Whoops. Like I said, guys, if you are enjoying the stream, make sure you're hitting that like button. Make sure you're hitting subscribe as well. Only 9 likes. Come on, we can do better than that nice and early doors. Let's see if we can fly this up to 50 likes. That would be greatly appreciated, like I said. So do hit that like button. My rank isn't good enough to fight the nostalgia. I feel like a lot of people's rank this game week is probably also going to be in a similar position, isn't it? Where if you've not had the best season, maybe, like I said, one final dance with Mohamed Salah is probably going to be the route. I've captained João Pedro. What are your thoughts? I don't actually know if João Pedro is going to play. I know he posted his Instagram story yesterday, so that could mean that maybe he plays, but ultimately I think I probably would go for a little bit of a safer pick. One free transfer, Porro, Richarlison, or Gakpo. Depends who you realistically need. If you need defenders, go and buy Porro. If you don't need defenders, probably look more at an attacking pick. I'm not the biggest fan of Richarlison with Slanky back in training, so that probably means penalties are gone for Richarlison. Gakpo, I know a lot of the models like him. I'm not 100% convinced, but you never know. Martinez and Dubravka, 2 transfers, keeper transfer worth it. I usually say keeper transfers aren't probably worth it because, again, there's such a low scoring position that I think you could actually gain more value by, getting an outfielder. And we showed this in the FPL Cartel podcast earlier in the week. On average, the final day of the season has less clean sheets and has more goals than what we see across a regular season. The only anomaly over the past 11 seasons was last year where that wasn't achieved. But as a whole, and I think we can kind of, broaden it and say as a trend, let's go for it because it is 10 out of the last 11 seasons that more goals are scored on the final day. So I personally, for me, I'm a little bit skeptical, but this season has been so much about the defenses, hasn't it? Has been about the defenders, so maybe that could again change. The problem is, Bowen hasn't scored since game week 24, but it doesn't matter because Bowen has got points. He's got 2 double-digit hauls, let's not forget, since January without any goals. Because, like I said, he does so much else for this side. The assists, the DEFCON. He does take penalties and, these big games. You want a man that can definitely be calm under the pressure as well. Gokeres worth selling or not? Again, we'll have to wait and see on team leaks. Personally, for me, I've got 2 free transfers in the bank. We'll talk about my transfer plans in a second. But yeah, we'll kind of run through that in a second. Gokeres worth selling. Again, like I said, it's all going to be dependent on team news. Tavernier, Gross, João Pedro, which one to bench? Probably João Pedro if he's not fit and available. You could pick 11 players, not an England squad, and that'll beat the World Cup squad. Personally, again, I understand what he's done. I think he's trying to build a team rather than individuals. That's what he's trying to do. Yeah, mate, we'll get around to those in a second. I'm just kind of warming the chat up a little bit. And then we'll get around to them. But yeah, I wasn't expecting this many people in this early doors, but hey ho, there we go. Do I play one of Saka or Cherky or triple captain Bournemouth Scots have Hal? Again, we're going to have to wait and see on team news on that one, but I probably would lean more towards the Bournemouth route. They've got a lot to play for. I'm planning to bring in Krupi and Enzo. I like both those moves. Bowen is not a differential now, though, Tom. True. Great shirt and a haircut also nice. Yeah, the amount of slander I've been getting on TikTok for my hair has been ridiculous. And I think it's because it looks like from this angle that my hair just sticks out. It isn't. It's a mullet, which I can kind of show on streams, but you can't really see it. So like TikTok, I'm just like that. So it just looks like my hair's scruffy. But yeah, there we go. You've got to warm the crowd up a little bit. You have to warm the crowd up a little bit. Right, let's go and do that team review then. Like I said, guys, if you want to get yourself involved in the FPL cartel, this is the place where we do all of our team reviews. Team reviews will be coming in the future. It's such an amazing group that we've managed to build already this season. We're going to have it active as well for the World Cup Fantasy, ready for next season as well. We've got a fantastic group of like 50 people already in there. So get yourself involved. Team reviews, like I said, everything in there. My model, loads. Genuinely loads. Right. Let's go ahead to the Discord. Kenny Powers, what an unreal shout. By the way, that show is elite, isn't it? That is an elite show. I'll give you that one. Right. Here we go. By the way, if people are in the Discord, make sure you all come into this section. It's the deadline section. That is where you are going to leave your teams for review. What should I do this week, Tom? I have 1 free transfer, 4 million to spend. Worth taking a hit. Okay. I definitely think you'll end up making probably a defensive transfer, dependent on the news we get. I think right now, again, it's going to be so much, we're going to have to wait and see if we get any sort of leaks. We're going to be checking the betting data as well and see what happens, right? So O'Reilly and Van Heck, again, is O'Reilly going to start? Big debates around that one, but we'll definitely get a City leak. They're pretty good for leaks, right? Saliba, Gabriel, again, we're going to have to wait for leaks. So a defensive transfer definitely is probably going to be on the cards, I would say. Hinchell would I expect to start. Tavernier I expect to start. Bruno Fernandes I expect to start. Those 3 are fine. Cherky, Wilson, again, a little bit debatable. Haaland, João Pedro, again, could be debatable. Calvert-Lewin's probably going to play. So I do think a -4 could be on the cards, but ultimately, I think we're just going to have to wait to see what happens in terms of leaks and team news before pulling the trigger on any certain moves. Because if we find out Saliba and Gabriel's playing, you definitely can look to get rid of like a Cherky or a Wilson, bring in an attacking midfielder. You know, you've got room for a Bruno G, a Soboslai. You know, there's plenty of good options that you could go for. You could go João Pedro to Bowen, but we're going to need that team. That team news is ultimately the big key thing here, right? Finding out what leaks we're going to get is going to be important for a lot of people today. So my honest piece of advice for everybody out there, do not make any early moves. We will get some sort of leaks on some sort of teams, if not the betting data. By the way, I need to get this website up, don't I? FPL Joe. This website right here is what we're going to be using today to track certain things. I'm probably better go into this view, right? Yeah, there we go. So looking at, where's Arsenal? So as we can see, Arsenal's projected goals have gone down, clean sheets slightly down, which to me suggests that probably an attacker has been benched, like a Saka, for example, probably not playing today, or a Rice or somebody like that. The defense player has stayed pretty consistent. City's numbers are still pretty much the same, no real drops or anything there. So yeah, that's kind of where my head's at with that one. Big drop in terms of Leeds' clean sheet numbers. So again, maybe a defender's gone. That's something I would maybe look at. Maybe like a Pascal Strauch potentially benched for that one. Again, these guys will have stuff like that. So yeah, we'll keep our eyes across this website as well as the deadline does progress. But like I said, ultimately, I would not pull any kind of moves or triggers or anything till we get the any sort of early team news. I would genuinely not be pulling my trigger on anything. I don't think you're catching that up. Yeah, Arsenal goals have dropped. Arsenal goals have dropped. Has Jump the Wave predicted their lineups yet? Jesus. Did you hear that? What a twat. No, Jump the Wave has not predicted put up their predicted lineups yet. So yeah, we'll have to wait for those. Do I keep Saka? Again, I think with that projected goals dropping, one of the attackers is missing out. That might be Gyökeres. That might be Saka. We'll have to wait and see. Like I said, we should hopefully get some leaks. I'm hoping anyway that we get some sort of leaks pre-deadline. But we'll have to wait and see. If you are enjoyed today's stream, by the way, guys, make sure you are hitting that like button. There's over 200 of you in today's stream already. So, yeah, hit that like button. We're up to 30. Let's see if we can smash 50 out. Let's get up there nice and easy, ladies and gentlemen. Got to make a decision now as I'm out and about today. Transferring Anderson or Tavernier. I personally would rather have Elliot Anderson. I just think he is just a 4-pointer, like a safe 4-pointer straight off the bat. Tavernier in recent weeks has been very, very disappointing. So personally for me, I'm leaning towards more looking at an Anderson, in my opinion. That's where I probably would go for it. If you want to send it in the deadline section, mate, that'd be great. Or just forward it into the deadline section, just so I know which ones I've done. So I'm not going back through and stuff. That's why we set it up that way. Fleming or Bowen need to hold on to the 10 points at the top of my mini league. I probably think if you're trying to hold, Bowen is probably the better player to hold with. Fleming is going to be a little bit more of a differential that people might pick up as well. Yeah, you do get a lot of benchings. And as you can see, I think I would have been fine if, I had like a little bit of defensive cover. But as you can see, we're getting absolutely slammed a little bit. Yeah, we are getting a little bit slammed here, which which isn't great, is it? Got 2 free transfers. Which 2 would you bin out of Saka, JP, Semenyo, and O'Reilly? I have heard that Semenyo is benched, but nothing concrete on that. From a very sketchy source. So I'm not saying it's legit. I think it's BS. But again, we'll have to wait and see. We will probably get a City leak. So I probably would be more tempted to bin off Saka. I just don't think he plays. I really don't think he changes. Cheers, man. We spoke about the trim, didn't we? Like me getting absolutely battered. Did you get any Hull fans abusing you yesterday? I was also seeing in Tom's stream that you're hanging up your boots after this season. You can't hang up the boots, man. Come on. Sent in the deadline Discord. Cool. Thank you, man. We'll take a look at that right now for you. Can smell something like on fire or something. I can smell something on fire. Okay, hopefully that's nothing serious. But yeah, it smells like burning or something. Hopefully not. Hopefully not. Cool. Yeah, I think you are. Again, it's probably going to be like Saka or Gokeres based on team news. Yeah, it's probably going to be Saka or Gokeres based on team news. They're probably going to be the ones. But yeah, I can really smell burning bad. I don't know why, but yeah, I can smell burning bad. Something's on fire. I want to make it fun. Having fun is winning, mate. Only thing on fire is our FPL team. Maybe. Or this stream's going to cut out in a second because there's a fire or something. I'll text Millie. Millie's in the other room. She might be setting fire to something. I don't know. She might be doing her hair or something. Yeah, you could do no Haaland. You could do no Haaland. I saved all my chips for the final game week. Let's go. I mean, you can only use one. You can only use one. Porro or Virgil for a hit? I probably would go Porro. Yeah, I probably would go Porro on that one, mate. No, I'm not going to wear a suit. It is ridiculously hot in the UK right now. Like, it's like going to be like 30 today or like close to 30. My room is a sweatbox already. So yeah, we're not wearing a suit. I would be dripping if I was wearing a suit. What do you think of the prices are going to be next season? Who is top price players? Definitely Haaland. Haaland will still be the top price player. Bruno Fernandes is getting a massive uplift. Wouldn't shock me if he's like 13 mil next season. Gabriel, they have to put him at probably like 7.5. Who else is there that they probably... I think like Saka and Palmer will be about the same. They'll still be about 10 million. I don't really see them taking too much of a hit. Despite not having the best seasons, I think they'll be around there. I think the big problem they're going to have is how do they price the DEFCON defenders and the kind of like DEFCON midfielders? I think like Elliot Anderson's going to be like 7.5. Realistically, he has to be because he's been one of the top scoring players. So yeah, it's going to be interesting with pricing. We'll have to see who joins the league as well. If we get another big... I feel like we need a couple big names to join that really could maybe spice things up a little bit. That would be cool. If you're enjoying the stream, guys, make sure you are hitting that like button. Like I said, really appreciate everybody. And for everything this season. Semenyo, yeah, probably going to be like 9-10 million. I reckon it'll be about, 9-10 million. Probably about right. We only need 10 more likes, by the way, to hit 50 on today's stream. So, yeah, make sure you're hitting that. Anderson or Szoboszlai for a hit? Szoboszlai. Will I bench Cherky today? Ultimately, right, we'll run through my moves because I said I was going to do it and then I've got distracted. We will have a look at that. Isak's price, I reckon they'll still have to put him quite high. I reckon like 9. O'Reilly, probably easy 6. Straight away 6 mil, isn't he? Thiago, probably going to be about 8, 9. That's probably where they'll have to put him. Yeah, it's probably where they'll have to put him. Start Dango or Tavernier. That's a toughie. I think I'd maybe go Tav just because he's got set piece share. Oh, Mbappe. Yeah, get Mbappe in the league. Let's see what we're working with. Right, let's run through my transfer plans then. So the thoughts that I've currently got is we do need a defender, and there's 2 that I've kind of got on my radar for this week. One is Porro. Like, yeah, one is Porro. Everton are really susceptible to right backs, by the way. Third for goal involvements conceded to right backs. Porro, obviously, set pieces. Massive game for them. So, yeah, Ped Porro is one of them. The other one is Mavropanos. And then the final one is going to be Hill. So they're the three centre-backs I'm looking to buy, right? And we might be in a position, depending on certain leagues or certain teams, that we might need to just go and buy two centre-backs. Not the most exciting, but that's kind of where we're at, and they're the three that I'm looking at. So that's in terms of centre-backs where I'm currently going to be buying someone. Then we've kind of got a debate on what to do with the midfield. If Rice is playing, again, I don't think he does. I think he's just so important that they'll want him for the Champions League. I've got like some midfielders in mind that I am looking at. The midfielders that I'm looking at currently are Anthony from Burnley, again in the El Crapio, could be fun pick. We have got Enzo Fernandez, a big game for Chelsea, and he looked absolutely stupendous the other day. So there's him. There is also, oh my days, come on, talk to me. I could go Elliot Anderson, boring, but it would be a safe 4-pointer. Who else is there? Kieran Dewsbury Hall, I really like as well as a pick. My model's a big fan of that one as well for this game week. So yeah, they're kind of the picks. We can have a look at what the model is suggested in a second as well. But yeah, they're the ones. We do have the model here. We can actually put it. What is, if we sell, I need to switch screens, don't I? You can't see that. Yeah, you can't see that. Idiot. My model. Boom. Yeah, by the way, if you want to come and get access to the model, it is available in the Discord. But yeah, if we put Rice in here, who are the top replacements that it has for me? Bruno G, who we've already got, Szoboszlai, who we've already got, and then as you can see, Anderson, Harry Wilson, but I don't think he's going to play, Pascal Gross, Dewsbury Hall, and Dye, Enzo, Rayan, Cherky. Again, if Cherky's fine to play, there could be a realistically situation where we just end up playing Cherky. So yeah, that's one to maybe monitor. But yeah, as you can see, we've got some nice names in here that we definitely can have a little bit of a look at. And they're kind of the names that, you know, we probably will end up with at some point. So yeah, there we go. There's the potential transfer plans. We're going to have to wait, though. We'll look at the jump away predictions. We'll see if we get any leaks of any sort as well before making any moves or pulling the trigger as well. No, they don't roll. If you roll any transfers, by the way, if you roll any transfers on the final date, they do not head into next season. Just clarify that for you, everyone there. I'm putting in Silver and Stones and Salah for the last games. This is the thing, right? I understand why people are doing that, like last games, putting people in. It makes sense. But at the same time, because it's their last game, they're definitely going to get substituted off. So everybody like claps them, gives them a nice like standing ovation. Especially like Salah, I think. Maybe not John Stones, but Silva probably will. Saka for Palmer, Enzo for Sobo. I don't hate that. I'm just not the biggest fan of Palmer for me personally. Yeah, I just think he's doing nothing. But maybe he's gonna, you know, give the finger to Tuchel. Morgan Gibbs-White is also a pretty decent shout as well. Again, might want to give him the finger to Tuchel. Thoughts on Saka to Gibbs-White? Again, don't mind that. We will have to wait and see what Arsenal leaks we do get heading into the deadline, should I say. If you are enjoying the stream, by the way, guys, there's over 300 of you in here now, and we're only at 50 likes. So let's smash that like button and see if we can get up to 100. How do we get access to the Discord? I will post the link in the chat, but it is in the description if you want to come and get yourself involved. Let me post here. Post it in the chat for you guys. There we go. Sell Welbeck or João Pedro for Bowen. I would be more tempted to sell João Pedro. For some reason, a lot of the models are very keen on Danny Welbeck this week. I have no idea why, but they are. Yeah, there we go. The likes is flying in now. Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate it as always. Ben's got the right idea. If you don't like it, you're going to have a terrible game week. That should be the slogan we whip out for next season. That should be the one. Review is also very keen on Minter for some reason. And I had a look at this last night in terms of positional data. And Manchester United's weak spot is left wingers. So it makes sense from a positional standpoint. That is why they're quite hot on that move. Personally, for me, I'm not feeling the Minter move. I get maybe like the positional one or something. But yeah, I'm just not feeling it. Somerville is also a pretty decent shout as well that we didn't speak about as a potential midfield option that I might look at. Welbeck always scores against Manchester United. That'll be the reason then. Salah for Bruno G and Haaland for Bowen. Taking out Bruno G is a big gamble. I really like Bruno G, and he's been very consistent in my team over the past few weeks. But if you're feeling it and you want to get Salah back in, go for it, but not for me personally. And Buemo and DCL for a 4-point hit. Why DCL? Like, he'll be fine for today. Thoughts on Mook, Semenyo, and DCL for Richarlison, Morgan Gibbs-White, and Mavropanos. Again, Sunderland at home, like, they've got something to play for on the final day here. They do have something to play for on the final day, so I don't know if I'd worry about it too much. But yeah, I wouldn't probably worry about it too much. Where will Bowen go if West Ham get relegated? It's a tough one, isn't it? Because I think he'll either go. I think he'd be a great signing for Tottenham. I really do think he'd be a great signing for Tottenham. Otherwise, I have heard rumours that he wants to just stay and help the and help them. Yeah, he wants to help them. Where are we likely to get team leaks before the deadline? You will get team leaks. You will get team leaks probably on Twitter. The FPL YouTubers will try and help you out as well. Our Discord group, the team review section, not the team review, team news section as well. If we find anything, it'll be straight in there. We've got some very good people in there as well that do keep us across absolutely everything. So yeah, those will be the places, I would say. Bowen can go to Hull. He can, but Hull are poor. They can't afford him. I'll give it a flip for you, man. I'll give it a flip for you. I've seen your season's gone a little bit derailed. Hopefully next season you can absolutely smash it again. Heads is going to be yes. Tails is going to be no. All right. Tails, no. But the coin's wrong. The coin, you go against the coin now, right? You go against it. That's the thing. FOTMob predictions are about as much use as a chocolate teapot. They're really not that good. Who should I start out of Somerville and Die? Oh, both are great picks. Genuinely, both are great picks this week. I think I never benched a penalty taker, so I'm going to go with Ndai. Who to bring in for Saka? You've got Bruno G, Szoboszlai, Gakpo, Somerville, Anthony. There's some of the names off the top of my head. Who else have we got in that midfield spot? Yeah, there's so many good names, isn't there? There's so many good names on the final day. Enzo Lafi, I've not even mentioned as well. They're just a couple. Long day ahead. Best of luck this game week, man. We'll definitely have to get you on the channel at some point in pre-season as well. So yeah, I'll drop you a DM about that. But yeah, we'll definitely have to get you on at the start of next season and throughout the season as well if people like you. But I'm sure they will. Saliba to Mavropanos or start Sharda. Did Sharda start the last game? I seem to remember he didn't start the last game. But correct me if I'm wrong on that one. Tom, Watkins or Thiago? I would personally go Thiago on that one. Should I start Dubravka or Pickford, or will Dubravka definitely be on the bench again? I think Dubravka will be probably on the bench again, so I would go with Pickford. Yeah. Thoughts on starting Mavropanos over Saliba? Yeah, I'm happy with that. No leaks as of yet, but if we do get any, we will try and keep you across them. Discord invites. If you want to get yourself involved in the FPL Cartel Discord, there is a link in the description. It is right there. So all you got to do is just sign up for it. There you go. What shirt am I wearing? I have a Roma shirt from the 90s, I want to say, maybe early 2000s. It's one of my favorites. It genuinely is one of the best shirts I've ever bought. It's absolutely unbelievable. Now, last year I wore a coin costume because of the Holy Coin. I was going to wear a suit this year, but I was like, it's too hot in the UK for that. We ain't wearing a suit. It's way too hot in the UK for that. So no suit today. But maybe next year. Maybe first stream. Maybe first stream of the season we might do it. Or maybe something for the World Cup. By the way, if you are going to be playing World Cup Fantasy, I will have you covered. We will be making content. We will be doing deadline streams. We're building a model as well in the FPL Cartel Discord group. So do get yourself involved in it. Yeah, do get yourself involved, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be the place, like I said, where we're going to be doing all this amazing stuff. Oh, it's an insane shirt. It's honestly one of my favorite shirts of the collection. It's unbelievable. Genuinely unbelievable. Let me know any questions you do have, ladies and gentlemen. Any thoughts on João Pedro, keep or sell? Again, going to be dependent on leaks, but I'm more leaning towards probably selling this game week. Bowen or Haaland cap, hard decision. I probably would do... What would I do? I would probably still go Haaland. Looking at the poll here, I think he's still going to have very, very, very high things. Where have you sent him to? Put them in the right chat. They're currently in the deadline one. You want to put them in the Tom section? There we go. I've tagged you in it where you need to put them in. What are my plans this game week? My plans are, we need a defender. Definitely going to need a defender because I don't trust Delo. If we get no Arsenal or City leaks as well, I'm relying on absolutely nothing. So we're going to make a defender transfer. We're going to take out Richards. And yeah, I probably would bring in Porro, Hill, or Mavropanos are the three that I'm looking at. So we will go for it. And then we're probably going to make a midfielder change like Rice. So we're looking at Somerville. We're looking at Anthony. We're looking at Enzo Fernandez. These are the kind of guys we're looking at realistically going for. Can you make an ideal free hit to help transfer targets? Yes. We actually have... where is it? Where is the model one? Here it is. We'll up the budget a little bit, so we got a little bit more budget in there. We'll put it to like 1.3. Obviously, with the model as well, we don't set any minutes, nothing like that. But here's some of the projections that you could be looking at for this game week. Then Bruno G, I really like him. I think he's a fantastic pick. I've had him for weeks. Morgan Gibbs-White, Sobersley, Anderson, I like as well. Could be a decent pick for this game week. Kieran Dewsbury-Hall, Somerville. There are so many great picks heading into this game week as well. Have you considered starting Verbergen over Raya? I have. The thought process with that one, though, is if Raya doesn't start, I don't see him coming on, so we'll just get Verbergen auto sub. So, yeah. No, the deadlines are actually all right. The deadlines are going to be fine. I think, like, the latest one is, like, 8 o'clock. That's fine for me. Yeah, the deadlines are fine for that. Yeah, I think Salah will start. I think Salah will start this game week. I think Salah will definitely start this game week. But yeah, they're kind of the ones. Obviously, if we want to look at the El Crapio, Fleming, what's the other guy's name? Anthony, Somerville, Bowen, Kieran Dewsbury-Hall, Hill, Senesi. These are just a couple of names I want to throw out for you guys for potential picks for the final game week of the season as well. Like I said, we've had a few more teams sent in for review. If you want to get yourself involved in the FPL Cartel Discord, the place to come and do that is in the description. Yeah. Right. 2 potential lineups. Enzo Szoboszlai. Bijou, I personally wouldn't. I'm guessing he's going to be on the bench, right? Because you play Hilson, Essie, one of those two. It's a good team. It is a good team. I'm guessing you're benching Gyökeres based on the news, if we get any news. Again, it's all going to be dependent on the news we get. Yeah. Again, it's all going to be dependent on what news we get on these 3 here, these 3 here. That is ultimately going to be where we then can make the moves. It is all going to be based off if we get any sort of news. I think it's hard. I guess it's hard to kind of weigh up what to do until we've got this news realistically. Best striker and midfield duo from players who are playing for something. Bournemouth, Spurs, Brighton. Welbeck and Minter is probably the ones that you're looking at from Brighton. Bournemouth is going to probably be like Krupi and Tav. Maybe Scott, just for DEFCON. Spurs, Richarlison. Midfielder for Spurs, I'm really struggling. I'm really, really struggling. So I'd probably say you're more likely to go for like Porro than maybe doing that. By the way, I mentioned this in my Discord group yesterday. I am not going to make any transfers on today's stream. I'm going to wait till the last minute. So I'll post my team in the Discord. I'll post my team over on X as well, a little bit closer to the deadline. So yeah, Harvey Barnes was actually someone that was brought up in my Discord group earlier in the week as well. He is such a purple patch player, very similar to Harry Wilson, although Harry Wilson's done it over a bit more of an extended period of time this season. He has these spells every single season where he'll go through looking like the best player England has ever produced. And I think he's kind of in that right now. There's been a lot of goal involvements. He's looking pretty good for Newcastle United. The problem is they just have so many wingers that they come off around like 60, 70. That is ultimately the problem that we have with, the Harvey Barnes, the Jacob Murphys of the world. So, yeah, could be a good one to maybe have a look at. Do I think DCL and Mbeumo score? They could. This is the thing. They very easily could. They very easily could. We are ridiculously close to 100 likes on today's stream, by the way, guys. So if you are enjoying it, make sure you are hitting that like button. Really, really would be appreciated, as always. Hermansen or the burger? I would go for Hermansen today. When is the World Cup Fantasy going to start? We're waiting for the game to launch. I imagine it could be sometime next week. Maybe even closer, maybe in June, potentially. But yeah, I think sometime next week. I'm hoping anyway. I want to start making content for it. I want to start putting my team together. I want to find out what the rules are as well. So yeah, that I would say hopefully next week. Hopefully next week. Squads are pretty much announced. I think everybody's pretty much announced their squads. Maybe there's like 1 or 2 we're waiting for. That might be the ultimate thing that they're just waiting for, then just to program all the squads in. That could be the final thing that they're going to be doing. Do keep your questions coming in, guys. Anything you want to say ahead of the deadline, do let me know in the comments. I know a lot of people are asking about my transfer plans. It is going to be bringing in at least 1 defender and then waiting for any sort of team news on Rice, Cherky, O'Reilly, Gabriel before then making another move. And yeah, we've got to kind of decide what defender we want to go for. Haaland could very easily be benched, but I doubt it for the final game of Pep's season. I do doubt it a little bit. I do doubt that. We'll see, though. We will see. There might be some rotation. There could be all sorts happening. The Spain team will be confirmed on Monday. There we go then. So that's probably the one we're gonna have to wait for. Yeah, Phil Foden, if he's going to start. Again, it's all going to be based off what leaks we get and what we get on the predicted jump the wave lineups as well. When are they coming in? Oh, ladies and gentlemen, the jump the wave predictions. There we go. We've got the jump the wave predictions. Let's go ahead and take a look at these then. Oh. All right. Give me a second. Let me sign into Twitter. I don't know why it signed me out. Where is the solo cam? I just need to get this. So give me a second while I sign into Twitter. For some reason, it's just signed me out. No idea why. Right. We can get you guys back now. Apologies about that. I have no idea what was going off there. But yeah, here we go. Jump the wave predictions. This is the Arsenal one. So Gabriel and Saliba both at 57%. Yeah, both at 57%. Mosquera, interestingly, at 100%. Zubamendi, 100. Rice down at 14%. Yeah, I don't think Rice will start. Saka at 0. Saka down at 0. Martinelli, Madueke at 100. Gokres at 57. Villa. Oh, looks like a very rotated Villa. Yeah. Rodgers at 0. Watkins at 0. Oh my God. Yeah, that could be a very rotated Villa then. Brighton, Van Heck 100. Hinshelwood 100. Gross, Minter, Welbeck. Yeah, lots of hundreds in there. Chelsea, João Pedro at 86. Palmer at 100. Enzo at 100. Liverpool, where's Salah? Salah, 100%. Szoboszlai, 100%. There you go. There's the Liverpool ones. City, oh my God, nobody knows what's happening with City. 83% for Haaland, 50% for Cherky, 83% for Foden. Like, genuinely, usually you get 100% in one of these. There is no 100% on the City prediction, so they are wild. They are wild. Yeah. They are wild today. We're going to need some leaks. United, Delo at 88%. Great. What I need for the confidence. I think 100% Bruno Fernandes. Everybody else, no, none of the predictors know. Genuinely, none of the predictors know who's going to go for there. Someone's just asked me in the chat if Delo will start. He is at 88%. He's at 88%. Newcastle, Bruno G at 88. Oh, God, who's predicted him not to play? Oh, my God, this could be terrible. I might not have anybody playing. I genuinely might not have anyone left to play at this point. Oh, my God. What's going off? Tottenham, Pedpor is at 100. Right, at least we've got someone. Richarlison at 100% for people that are potentially taking a look at him this game week as well. And that's all we've got for the jump the way predictions. We are going to need some leaks today, ladies and gentlemen. We are really going to need some leaks today. Oh my God, we are going to need the leaks. We are going to need the leaks. I just brought in Bruno G to Turkey. Yeah, Bruno G at 88 has frightened the life out of me. It is only one prediction though. One prediction though. Only one didn't have him. Everybody else had him. I think he plays. I personally believe he plays. Who knows, though? Who knows? Yeah. What a crazy week. What a crazy week. Yeah. God knows at this point. Hi, mate. I have both Gabriel and Saliba bench one. Probably. Yeah. Again, we're going to be waiting for leaks, aren't we? Ultimately, we're going to be waiting for leaks. That is the big thing we're going to have to do today is wait for leaks. Let's head back to the odds website, see what we've got in terms of the last 24 hours. What's this one saying? See history. Can you guys see that? Oh, yeah, you can. Just about. So Arsenal have dropped, by the way. They were at like 1 point. So when the fixture was first announced, 2. Now in the past, since about 5 this morning, that has just been a continuing dropping line, by the way, for Arsenal. Now down at 1.59. So, yeah, we're probably going to see some Arsenal attackers rotated out of here. Yeah, we're going to see some Arsenal rotators dropped out of here, aren't we? Clean sheet has stayed fairly consistent, around like 31, 32 for a while. That maybe suggests that either, they've got no information on the Arsenal defenders yet, or we're still expecting to go for it. What other ones have had like a significant drop or growth one? Cities is, let's see the City one. Cities has kind of stayed the same, which would suggest that they're not really expecting too much rotation. Clean sheet numbers as well, around the same. So nobody, I would say at the moment, should be dropped. But again, we're going to keep our eyes peeled on this throughout the course of today's stream. Oh, mate, we're going to end up taking massive hits. We're going to be taking like massive hits at this rate, aren't we? Absolutely huge hits. We've had another team sent in for review, so we'll take a look at that one real quick. Again, though, the problem with team reviews this week, guys, is, yeah, we're ultimately all waiting for the same thing. Would not be buying a Wolves defender. I know they've got Burnley this week. Still wouldn't buy them. Still genuinely wouldn't buy them. Unless they're going to be sat on your bench. I ain't touching them. I ain't touching them personally. What have you said? Captain won't change. I can't see who your captain is. I think you said Bruno in the chat. Fair. I don't mind Bruno as a captain pick for this week. But yeah, we are really, really going to need the leaks, aren't we? We're going to need the leaks so bad. Oh my God. What a mess. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Thank you from the love from Sydney. Let me know in the chat where you are coming in from today. I know we have people all around the world tuning into these streams, and it blows my mind every single time that we have people from, Australia, New Zealand, Sweden, Norway, parts of Asia, Africa. Like, it genuinely blows my mind. So let me know in the chat where you are coming in from today, even if it is somewhere miserable in England, like Slough. Let me know. All right? Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat where you are coming in from today. If you're enjoying it as well, make sure you're hitting the subscribe button. Probably Wilson would be the one I would sell out of all of those ones there for me personally. Yeah, that probably would be the one. Another one from Sydney. Do I think Arteta rotates? Yes. Massively. Massively Arsenal rotate today. India, very nice. Very nice. Yeah, I think this is the thing. It's been a pretty terrible season for me as well. Like, we've gone from 8K finish last year to where are we now? Like 180, I want to say 180K. Like, still, it's all right, but not obviously at the same levels as we were last year. We have definitely dropped off a cliff. Nice, lots of people from different parts of the world coming in here. Uganda, Down Under, New Zealand, very nice. Zimbabwe, Indonesia, great stuff. New Zealand. I don't think Rail will be starting. Probably not. We've got Verbergen there if we really need to as well. I only got one free transfer. Oh, okay. Morgan, Gibbs, White, and Sobo. Yeah, both good picks. Probably going to be for either Cherky or who was the other one you had? Rogers. Yeah, Rogers probably would be the one then. Scotland, but I wish it was Thailand. Nice. I don't think Rayo will start. No, I'm just leaving him there in case. Turkey, very nice. Someone asked me what my plans are for the World Cup fantasy. We will be doing videos. We'll be doing deadline streams. everything. We're building the model in the background as well in the FPL Cartel Discord. So yeah, lots of good going off. Lots of good going off, ladies and gentlemen, as always. I would personally leave Thiago. Like, I think he could be fine. Like, they've got something to play for. I guess you're gonna have to, aren't you? Because I don't think Dubravka will play. Belgium, very nice. I've been to Belgium. Wasn't the biggest fan of Belgium. I don't know what it was. It just wasn't the country for me. Wasn't the country for me. Yeah, I think looking at those jump the wave predictions has made me question a lot of things this game week, hasn't it? Rodgers to Szoboszlai? Yeah, probably. Again, wait for any leaks that we might get. That is my ultimate advice for people this week on like captaincy and on like if you're looking for someone that I guarantee will play today, it will be Bruno Fernandes, right? Bruno Fernandes definitely will play. Jarrod Bowen will definitely play. So they're two safe options for captaincy and triple captaincy. Haaland might play. Haaland might not play. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. Hong Kong, very nice. From Malaysia, Nida Palmer Hall today. Maybe he might after being left out of the England squad. Yes, I probably would bench those players. And Gyökeres to Fleming, if Gyökeres is not playing, I like that move. Where do we get leaks? On Twitter, mainly. Just following the right accounts, we'll get leaks on Twitter. I personally don't get them. I'm not big enough. I don't have enough clout. But yeah, that is where you'll end up getting them. That is where you will end up getting them. So y'all go to Fleming. Don't mind it. Don't mind it. I think we could get a lot of hits today. I really do. I even might have to take some hits at this rate. Because if we've got a situation where Rice, Gabriel, O'Reilly, and Cherky aren't playing, Rice, Gabriel, Cherky, O'Reilly, that's 4 players, right? That's 4 players. I don't have the bench cover for that. So we do Richards for Porro. That gives me 1 more defender. Then we're probably doing Alderete to like a Mavropanos. And then I think we're buying a midfielder. We're going to have to buy a midfielder. So yeah, like I said, personally for me, my number 1 advice is hold your transfers for now. Hold the transfers. Do not make any moves till we get any sort of leaks. Looking at the betting data, big drops, big shifts. Those will be key indicators to who we think might play and might not play, right? That is something we've got to have a look at. Then we'll get the leaks. So don't make any early moves. Genuinely, don't pull the trigger on any single transfer right now. What time will the leaks be? They will be very, very close to the deadline, I imagine. Like within the last hour of the deadline. So about 1:30 UK time to about just before 2:30. That is where realistically we're going to get the leaks today. Which account gives you leaks? All of them. All of them. This stream will probably end about like 12, half 12-ish. Yeah, the big boys will go and do their thing. Start Darlow or Verbruggen? Probably Verbruggen. Yeah, probably Verbruggen. But yeah, for me today, guys, do not be making any early moves. Yeah, Arsenal's goal odds have definitely been dropping significantly, so that would suggest that Gyökeres, Saka probably are going to be missing out. I don't think Rice will play either, personally for me. So now I'm just waiting for a case of, if Cherky's playing, at least I can put Cherky in, then maybe see if any defenders are playing. It's going to be mayhem. It genuinely is going to be mayhem. Like I said, we might end up doing like a -4 or something crazy. This might be how the team ends up looking, to be honest. So it could be like something like this, where it's Poro, Mavropanos, and then we're probably going to take like another one. Like, I don't know who we'd go for. Do we really back the West Ham game and go like Somerville? I don't know. Do we go Somerville? Do we go Minter? Like, who do we go for in that spot? Could be anyone. So yeah, we could be looking at a -4. Again, we're gonna have to wait and see though on leaks first before pulling the trigger on anything. But they're kind of where my head is at in terms of the team for this game week. Whoa, my computer lagging out a bit then. Yeah, I probably would. Leeds are probably going to rotate on the final day. Wouldn't shock me. Wouldn't shock me. Do keep your questions coming in and your likes coming in as well. I don't remember what my top viewed stream is of all time. I know it's around 400 and something, but I can't quite remember what. I'm going to have a look, but I don't think we're going to be far off it. What is the most concurrent viewers I've ever had on a stream? 467. What are we at today? Is that right? 467? That the most I've ever had? Oh no, way off. 563. 563. We ain't getting that today. I won't be live. I will be in my Discord group though, sharing anything that we see over on socials. Yeah, the model's been doing quite well. The model has been doing quite well. We'll have it back for next season as well. We're going to try and build something for the World Cup as well. So, yeah. No, I won't be live during the leaks. There'll be other content creators who will be live. Andy, Focal, Harry, Raptor, all the big boys that you know and love. They'll all be live during the leaks. I will be sat in my Discord group weighing up all of my options. Start Cherky or Wilson. If we get news that Cherky's going to play, I probably would give him the nod ahead of Wilson. Yeah, I probably would. Probably would give him the nod. Oh, cheers, man. Appreciate it. Appreciated. Very much appreciated. Hey, there's more people than I was expecting. More people than I was expecting have still kicked on with FPL this year. It'd be interesting to see what they do. What they do next year with the changes. I mean, Fleming is probably going to start, so probably Fleming. Are we captaining on Bruno since he's guaranteed to start over Haaland? I'm more leaning towards going with what's his face. If there's any doubts on Haaland, I'm going Bowen. Yeah, any doubts on Haaland, I'm going Bowen. That's where I'm going. Which games will I be watching? We have, I'm guessing Multiview will be back in the UK on Sky. So we'll probably have that on like one of the middle tellies. We've got a free television setup in my living room. So we'll have like different games on. We'll probably watch like the relegation battle games, I imagine. Maybe the United game might sneak on in one of them as well. because my flatmate is a United fan, so maybe United might sneak on. We're having some Chinese with our partners. We're going to enjoy the final day of the season. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that a little bit later. It's going to be decent. Yeah, should be good. Should be good. Yeah, Fleming, if he gets a Premier League move next year, could be an all right option. Like, he takes penalties. He's managed to get, double-digit goal involvements for the season as well. Yeah, maybe. I mean, both teams are pretty bad. It is the El Crapio, isn't it? We're closing on 150 likes, by the way, on today's stream. So if you are enjoying it, make sure you're hitting that like button. Make sure you're hitting subscribe as well. It is really appreciated. Like I said, I reckon we'll probably hit 30k over the course of the World Cup. And then heading into next season, who knows where we could end up. No, I'm not a Manchester United fan. I am a Mansfield fan. That's my team. We play in League One. There you go. I'm not. It's just very basic at the moment. It depends what your team looks like realistically, but yeah, you might, given some of the predicted lineups we've already seen, yeah, you maybe might want to you might want to take some minuses. Thoughts on Virgil Cap? Not for me. Liverpool defensively have been terrible. Terrible. No worries, mate. No worries. That is what the coin is here to do. That is what the coin is here to do. Who do I support in the Prem? I support probably Brentford, but I don't care if they win or lose. I just like Brentford. Yeah, mate. Hopefully there isn't too many, but again, wait till leaks. Let's see what we get. We'll just get no leaks now, and it just makes things absolutely terrible. It's going to happen, isn't it? We're not going to get any leaks today on the day we need them. They ain't letting us know the lineups before the deadline. That ain't happening. We ain't getting the lineups before the deadline, by the way. Oh yeah, Watkins was on like 0, I think, on the jumped away predictions. Depends where you feel like you may be missing. Like if you've not got a Bowen, he could be a fun pick. Nah, never supported Liverpool. I liked him as a kid a bit, like when they won the Champions League when I was like 5. But that's about it. I guess that is a win-win. If Tottenham, if you go for the Tottenham assets and they lose, yeah, I guess that is one way to look at it. Personally, I think Welbeck and Thiago are completely fine, and there's probably players that are more susceptible to risks. Like, I ultimately believe this week is not a week for luxury transfers. Yeah, I believe it is not a week for luxury transfers. This is going to be a week where you're kind of just going to have to string out an 11. So anyone that is going to play or is guaranteed to play, I'm not going to recommend you take them out. What I am going to recommend is looking for picks that are doubts, and we might get some news on. So your Gabriels, your O'Reillys, your Rice, your Sakas, Salibas, Haalands, Cherkis, O'Reillys, Gahey's, Semenyo's. These are probably going to be guys that you might actually have to move on because they're not going to be playing. So yeah, my personal advice, hold your transfers for as long as possible. Do not make any luxury moves this game week. Leave it for as late as possible as well. Yeah, 100%. DCL is one of those players, perfectly fits in that. Don't buy, don't sell. That is ultimately where he's at. Yeah, don't buy, don't sell him, just leave him. 100% in agreement with you on that one, mate. Again, I kind of agree with you. Like, it's hard for me to give reviews or tell you to do certain things because we're kind of waiting for information. And I am also kind of in agreement with you. It does, I do feel a little bit restricted today on the advice I can give you. What I can do though is reiterate the points around waiting, holding, and ultimately give you players for when you get that news, you know what certain players you want to pick up. It's also the last game week of the season. It's hard to call some of these things, and there's so many great picks. So I do think it's going to be a very, very swingy week. Don't buy, don't sell. Yeah, I personally wouldn't buy any Arsenal assets, any City assets ahead of today. Would not do it. Would not do it. Yeah, if people have got a decent bench, they're in a great position. As you can see, my bench is in tatters. Um, yeah, not looking good, my bench. Not healthy. We only need one more like, by the way, to hit 150 on today's stream. If you are enjoying the content, make sure you are hitting that subscribe button. Make sure you are hitting the like button as well. And let's see if we can get today's stream up to 150 and beyond. Yeah, keep going. I lost my train of thought. Excluding Saka, Van Heck, Verbergen, and Cherky in team review, Bruno is captain. Fair enough. Again, mate, like I can't really give you any more information than what I've already given you. Is wait and see what happens with Saka and Gyökeres in terms of team leaks, and then make your moves based off that. It's kind of hard for me to do anything with team reviews today because I can tell you to buy someone right now, and then someone else might not play, or we might get information. So it's kind of hard for me to give you a concrete answer on stuff. There you go. Why is no one talking about Thiago? People are trying to sell him. Like, I know the guy's been dusty the past few weeks, but that Liverpool defense is crap. Is crap. It is crap. Brentford still have something to play for, right, as well. Let me have a quick goosey gander at the table. I am not doing strip FPL. We don't want to get the channel banned. I've not even got any socks on today to take that off. I think I did that once where it was like every 50 likes I did like some item of clothing. I put like double socks on. So yeah, Brentford still have a lot to play for on the final day, as do Liverpool as well. If they are losing at any point and Bournemouth start winning, who knows? Brighton definitely have stuff to play for still as well. Yeah, lots of good games. Sunderland Chelsea could be a classic, by the way. Both teams, you know, needing wins to secure European football. Everton, a small chance, but not a big chance. Same with Newcastle, by the way. If they win and if they win and Chelsea drop points to, can they get it? Because I don't think they can get it. I can't remember if they can get it or not. Do I think Delo starts? Every time I've needed him, no. So probably not. Probably he's on the bench. Wouldn't shock me. Wouldn't shock me at this point, would it? But yeah, for those that have just joined, we'll run through my transfer plans again. The plan is to get rid of Richards for Porro, Hill, Mavropanos. I'm still not decided on which option realistically I'm going to go for. I think I'll probably go Porro. I think I probably will. And then this midfield spot is between boring Elliot Anderson, but I guarantee 4 points out of him, so that's at least something. Enzo Fernandez potentially is an option. Kieran Dewsbury Hall, but that goes against my Porro transfer that if we were to bring him in. Minter. Who else is there down here, further down here? Anthony in the Battle of the El Crapico. Yeah, those are kind of the picks. Those are kind of the picks. If you're building a bench boost draft, probably avoid Arsenal and City. I really do think you are going to get rid of Arsenal and City. if you're building the bench boost draft. Yeah. In terms of my captain as well for today, if we get any sort of news that Haaland isn't going to be playing, then I'm probably going to switch it to Bowen or Bruno. Probably go Mook then. What about Rayan? Yeah, another option to consider Tavernier. Like, there are a few options definitely within that spot. One of them is going to go off. The other one isn't. It's fully just going to go that way. Yeah, you just don't know which City players are gonna start and which ones are gonna batter them. It could be one of those games where we see it on the final day where it could be like about 800-0 or something like that. Yeah, I like the moves. Again, all dependent on what sort of team information we do get. 2 subs, Watkins to Bowen or Rice to Sobbo or O'Reilly to Virgil. I would personally be leaning more towards the first 2 you've suggested there if you've got 2 free transfers. Watkins to Bowen and Rice to Sobbo. I really like both of those moves. Yeah, I think they're great. I'm using my triple captain. I mean, for old time's sakes, maybe you go Salah. Maybe you go Salah there. I do think Haaland, if he is going to start, is probably going to be the best captain for this game week, though. Given the fact that Villa are going to be very heavily rotated, I probably would have him as the best captain. It worked okay-ish. Will Alderete start? No. They basically said like he's very unlikely to start. I need him to start. I hope him to start. Yeah, mate, if you want to put your ID in the chat, I can take a look at those after I finish up the deadline stream. Otherwise it'll probably like jam up the deadline stream or something. But yeah, we can have a look at the models reviews in a bit after I finish up. So I'll put it in the chat for you. Do keep your questions coming in, guys. Anything you want to ask me ahead of the deadline, it would be greatly appreciated. Probably into a day, but who knows? Probably take my foots to the grave, but who knows? While we've got close to 400 people in here, by the way, I do want to just say a massive, massive thank you to you guys this season. We've taken the channel from like, I think it was about 14.5K subscribers at the back end of last season. We're now approaching nearly 30. Yeah, the doubling in terms of subscribers has been insane. TikTok has blown up. Instagram has blown up as well. And I can't thank you enough for all your support that you've showed to me this season. It really is appreciated. Everybody that's watched the video, commented on a stream, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. It is really appreciated. And yeah, let's just see where this journey takes us, I guess. I'm forever grateful to have the opportunity to sit here, talk in front of a camera, have all this, cool stuff going off, all these opportunities off the back of everything we've built here. So thank you very much, guys. Really, really do appreciate you guys. You are the ones, obviously, that make the channel come alive, make the deadline streams come alive and all that. So, yeah, thank you very much for your continued support this season. Let's keep ticking on and see where we get to, ultimately. Be great to hit 30K over the World Cup Fantasy. Who knows? If we double it again, could be like 50K by next season, which probably was something I never imagined we'd get to when we started this channel, but here we are. World Cup Fantasy, yes, we will be making content for that when the game does eventually release. but we'll see. Who to replace Rice with? No money in the bank. Soboslai, probably going to be my top pick there. Minte, Kieran Dewsbury Hall, all some pretty decent options heading into this game week. You say that, but there's been quite a few upsets in the away ones as well. Yeah, the away ones. Like, there's been some massive scorelines from away teams over the past, 10, 15 years on the final day. Oh, cheers, man. Appreciate it. Thank you for being here for so long. Like I said, yeah, growth's been insane. We'll keep things ticking and we'll, like I said, see where we get to. Yeah. Do keep your questions coming in. If you want your team reviews, they will be done in the FPL Cartel. Link in the description for that one if you want to get yourself involved in there. Dango to a midfield player. Please recommend or Van Heck, O'Reilly to Porro. I'd be more tempted with the O'Reilly move depending on what team news we get. Again, I would not be making luxury moves this game week. I think we're going to get some big news later on around benchings, Arsenal players, stuff like that. Thoughts on our World Cup squad? I was shocked with some of the quality of the players he's left, but is it a case of he's building a team rather than a collective of individuals? You know what I mean? Like, he's building a team that he knows will work for him, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's kind of where my head's at. There's some definite interesting choices in there, but hopefully it comes home. Hopefully it comes home. How many years you been doing FPL, Tom? This is my third full season, I want to say. Third full season. Yeah, so about 3.5 years. Yeah, there's some very interesting picks in there. Madueke, Henderson, Spence, Dan Burn, John Stones. There are some very, very questionable picks in there. And ultimately, if it falls down, that's on him for the squad he's picked, isn't it, really? But if it works, we're going to be like, well, he knew what he was doing. And I also think he comes from a standpoint where he doesn't care what the English media thinks. He couldn't give a toss. If he goes home, you know what I mean? That's it. He's just going to go back to Germany. He doesn't care. He doesn't have to live with the consequences of that. So I think he's just picking, I'm picking what I want to do. I want to play the football I want to play. And I think it's kind of good. Sometimes I think we get managers that are probably swayed a little bit by the media, or because they're English, they know I've got to pick Foden. I've got, I'm obligated to pick these players. Whereas he's gone, not good enough, not my problem. I don't care what England do realistically. I obviously want to try and do well, but if we don't, we don't. It's no skin off his back. So yeah. Palmer's not been a game changer for about a season and a half, though, has he? Genuinely, realistically, Palmer has not been a game changer for about a season and a half. He just hasn't been at that level, anywhere near it as well. Yeah, genuinely nowhere near it. We only need 8 more people to actually hit subscribe to hit 28.6k subscribers, which again just gets us close to that 30k mark. So yeah, we'll see where we're at. Yeah, Palmer's been terrible for about 18 months. I think Rio was at 32%. Tell could be an interesting one, and Scott could also be an interesting one. Pep for England. I did think that. I did think, is he, going to have a little bit of a break, and we'll see ultimately. I could see him. He said he's never going to manage Spain. So he wants to go and obviously win a World Cup. I think a country that he's got a lot of affiliation with, a country where he's raised a lot of the top talents as well for this country. Wouldn't shock me. Wouldn't shock me if we see Pep as England manager one day. I don't mind Ivan Toney. I actually think Ivan Toney's an all right pick. Like, he's had a great season in the Saudi league. Like, yeah, you might go, oh, it's only the Saudi league, like, you know, but I think the Saudi league, bar PSG, is probably better than the French league. There's better quality players there than the French league, like outside of PSG. Top goal scorer, penalty taker. Like, he's so good on penalties as well. If we're going to a penalty shootout, I would happily have Ivan Toney stepping up and taking a penalty. I'm that confident in him. Like, he's just a guy who's got balls of steel for that. So, yeah. Right, we've had another team sent in for review, so let's go ahead and take a look at that. Thank you for everybody that has joined the FPL Cartel Discord as well this season. Very worth mentioning that as well. Again, I'm blown away by this group and everything we've managed to achieve with it so far. It's only going to get better and better. So what are you saying here? Replace Wilson and bench Eze? Yeah, if you replace Wilson, bench Eze, and then I guess you've got Tarkowski as cover for O'Reilly or Gabriel. Again, they're going to be dependent on what sort of team news we get here with those two. But yeah, you've got Tarkowski. Justin as well might come in for one of these as well. So yeah, I think I probably would replace Wilson with Eze. I think the options you are going to be looking at are going to be Kieran Dewsbury Hall, Anthony, Minte, Enzo Fernandez. They're probably going to be the guys that you realistically are going to be looking at. Dominic Szoboszlai maybe as well. They're going to be the ones. I mean, they can never pick him, can they, really? After everything that happened, like, Greenwood is never going to get picked for England. He's never going to play in England again. So, yeah, he's never going to play in England. He will never play for England because of the backlash they will get. He still will want it. He still will want it. The stress of, you know, Manchester City and all the media there, he'll be fine with it. He'll be fine with it. Again, all going to be dependent on what leaks we get today. For kind of, you know, benching decisions and stuff like that. It's like I said, I've said it a few times in today's stream. It is hard to give you guys like solid advice because we're ultimately waiting for it. Who wins the World Cup? It's coming home. In all seriousness, I think we could win it. Yeah, I think we could win. I think we could win it. Wouldn't even shock me at this point. Pep to Celtic, no. He won't do that. He's got a job as like the consultant of the City group right now. And he also said something interesting in his leaving video. He mentioned Oasis and he was like, you know, like Oasis are back. Like kind of like indicating like I will be back at some point. So that's how I viewed that bit where I was like, he's definitely going to come back at some point, isn't he? Still waiting for league team news as of yet. Obviously, we'll try and keep you across anything that we do get. Oh, my days. Brazil are definitely ready for what Madueke's got. Madueke is dog dirt. Pep to Southend. Pep to Southend, Jesus. Yeah, Arsenal's projected goal numbers are like caving, by the way. Absolutely dropping off a cliff. By the way, this is FPL Joe. If you want to go check out his website, it's really, really good. Everybody's using it on socials as well and stuff like that. The Arsenal one is on this side. And if we see the history from... Yeah, as you can see, these numbers are, even as the morning progresses, just getting lower and lower and lower and lower. Clean sheet probability has actually stayed kind of the same, which makes me think that there hasn't been any leaks to the bookies about defensive changes. But the projected goal number here changes suggest that some attackers are benched. A Saka, a Rice, somebody like that. That is what that would suggest to me, that one of those is definitely going to be benched. Oh, Madueke is god-awful. He's terrible. He is terrible. Why was it a bad idea not to buy Sobbo? He got a 9-pointer last game week. He was very good last game week. By the way, we only need 5 more likes to hit 200 on today's stream. So do get your things in for that. We've had another team sent in for a review, so we'll take a look at that as well. Where is it? Discord. 1 free transfer, 7 points of my Millie League. Who to transfer in? João Pedro for Bowen, Cherky for Gibbs White, Saka for Palmer, or someone else. I'm not the biggest fan of Saka to Palmer. Again, not really much bench cover here, is there? It's all going to be dependent on what sort of leaks we get, and I think the move would be getting Saka out of this squad. Now, you could play João Pedro if we get positive news that he's going to start today. So I definitely would probably be tempted to start João Pedro ahead of Wilson. I just don't think Wilson plays. I really don't. Saka, then I guess you're looking at an Anthony, an Enzo, a Somerville. There's so many players that you're realistically going to be picking. But yeah, I personally wouldn't go for Palmer. I'm not feeling the Palmer move, mate. Again, anybody that is in the Discord group, we will try and help you out as best as possible. And yeah, see what we can get for you guys. I mean, if you've got a bench boost, you might as well just get it active and just get him in. Yeah, he's good. We don't know on Salah yet if he's starting. I imagine he will do, though. Over 200 likes, by the way, guys. Thank you very much. Really is appreciated, your continued support on the channel. Yeah, every single time we stream, I'm blown away with the support we get. I really am. Really am, guys. Enzo versus Sobbo. I mean, both are good. Both are good options today. I probably would lean more towards Szoboszlai, though. Maybe that's the difference. Thomas Tuchel trusts him. I personally don't, and I think he's dog. He is dog dirt. Probably one day, but who knows? Sell Cherky for Silva or Sobbo. Salah put 40 points incoming with the captain. Who knows? Yeah, Salah could be an interesting one today, couldn't he? Oh, Delap is terrible. He's so bad. Delap is honking. Delap is a honking player. Again, it's going to be hard to say because we're going to have to wait on the team news. Like this is what I've said to people in today's stream. it's hard to give you guys advice on who to bench and who to buy and who to sell without having that potential leak team news. So we're going to have to, like, my honest advice is wait, just have your options kind of ready to go. All right. Well, it's not even a case of losing 10-0, is it? Because I don't think the goal difference is that much of a difference. It's 6, right? It's 6 or 8. I can't remember. It's 6. So if they lose, what, 4 and Bournemouth win 2, they're level. Then it goes to goals scored and Liverpool are ahead. So Bournemouth 3, Liverpool 4. I've seen stranger things happen on the final day of the season. Brentford still need to win as well, by the way, for their European dreams to come alive. So, you know, I've seen, like I said, I've seen stranger things happen. I've definitely seen stranger things happen. Not for me personally, feels very luxury. Probably Anthony. Yeah, probably Anthony on that one. I personally wouldn't go near that lead side. I think they'll rotate on the final day. So I would personally go for Mook. Yeah, Sunderland still have something to play for. Still could secure European football against Chelsea as well. So yeah, I probably would go Mook on that one. Just going to put my fan on for a bit, guys. Apologies if you can hear it, but it's hot. It's hot in the UK. Oh, yeah, Burnley are bad. Burnley are bad. So are Wolves. But, like, it's called the El Crapico for a reason because both sides are just honking. Yeah, and they're going to lose their manager and more players. It is wild to think, isn't it? Yeah, definitely going to be worth it. Chelsea still need to, get some points if they want to get European football next season. I think my highest ceiling cap is Mavropanos, by the way. Fair. I mean, DEFCON, maybe a goal. Why not? Yeah, Anthony or Zion Fleming are the two you want to pick from Burnley. They're going to be the two picks from Burnley that you're going to look at. Anthony and Zion Fleming are the two guys you want to go for. Oh, Hull are terrible. I got absolutely battered for saying this a few weeks ago, but Hull are terrible. They were 23rd in the XG table in the Championship. Like, I know they're probably going to sign some players, but like they're bad. They're genuinely bad. I think Ipswich go straight back down as well. And yeah, I think that's probably it, isn't it? Would you play Van Heck and Gross over Hill and Tavernier? No. I've not had a great season, to be honest, mate. I'm like 180k something. Not the worst. Like, there's definitely people that have had, poorer seasons in the community, but compared to what we got last year with an 8k finish, yeah, and where we were around like game week 20, around like that 50k mark, it has been a frustrating, I would say, decline. But we've learned some lessons. We've definitely learned some lessons. We'll be back stronger next season. And hopefully we can get some more big juicy greens, maybe another top 10k finish. That would be great. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Ooh, I'm gonna go Tark. I'm going to go Tark on that one. But both are pretty decent. I mean, I could get Salah. I've just thought about that. I could end up getting Salah. If, like, you know, the defender moves here are going to be, you know, a problem, I could get Salah. Like, it's not out of the possibility for a Salah captaincy here, by the way. Yeah, like, guys, I don't hate that. If Haaland's benched, I don't hate that. I really don't hate that if Haaland's going to be benched. And we run it back with Unk Mo for one final time. I don't hate that. I really don't hate that if Haaland's benched. Just an idea. Just an idea. We definitely need a defender transfer. Like, so it would be a -4, but who knows? One final time with Unk. I don't hate it. I really don't hate it. Yeah, I think obviously DEFCON's played a part of it. And there was the post the other day about, like, you know, being the lowest point scoring total for the winner, less goals in the league as well, less points in the league across the board. So I think it's kind of one of those where in previous seasons I would have made the attacking moves with certain players, and then because that this season they haven't hit the marks, and then the guys who've just consistently got like 4 points out of it have, it's made it a really interesting dynamic, hasn't it? So yeah. I guess, but at the same time, I just do feel like at least that Forest squad had a bit of quality coming up. You've just got to spend, haven't you? You've got to spend well. You know, you can be in a position where last time Ipswich came up, they did spend, but they bought just Championship. But yeah, there's an option if Haaland's going to be out for this week as well. That is an option. That is an option. If O'Reilly's going to be out, I think we probably just take out Alderete and bring in like Mavropanos. Yeah. Like I said, we've got 2 frees in hand. We've got 2 frees in hand. We'll see how things pan out. Who are the top players who have 0? I think Saka was 0. Gyökeres was also 0, I want to say. Soberslai, Morgan Gibbs White. I personally would go Sobo. We've also got, I think, Watkins and Rogers were at 0 as well. So yeah, quite a few big players at 0. Quite a few. I reckon we probably will. Yeah, we'll definitely get some sort of leaks from some clubs. Again, we'll be keeping our eye on the betting data as well. If we see big shifts or big drops around the deadline, we know then obviously certain players are benched and stuff like that. Do keep your questions coming in, guys. Anything you want to know ahead of the deadline? We are approaching 250 likes on today's stream, by the way. If you do enjoy the content, make sure you're hitting that like button. Make sure you're getting yourself involved in the chat. Yeah, true. I think if you are looking for like a guaranteed captain, that you know is going to play this week. It is Bruno. It is probably Bowen. They're probably the two that I would probably have a little bit of a look at. Right, I think we've had another team sent in for review, so we'll take a look at that one. Where is it? Discord. We had another one sent in? I thought we had. We haven't. Cool. We'll take a look at the odds instead then, see if there's been any shifts in terms of the odds. Not as of yet. We'll give it a refresh. See where we're at in terms of Arsenal. 1.6 still around there. That clean sheet numbers have pretty much stayed the same. So I think defenders wise, we're probably going to be all right. What's Manchester City's been at today? City's projected goals have been roughly-ish the same. A little bit of a drop from about 2.9 to 2.81. Still pretty high though. So I don't think they've got anything concrete on City. In terms of the clean sheet numbers, again, they've pretty much stayed consistent. So I think that would probably infer that they've got no news as of yet in terms of who's going to be starting. What other games have we got? Newcastle have had a huge drop all of a sudden. Yeah, they've had a big drop this morning. Yeah, that's quite big. So Newcastle were at 23 at 5 a.m. this morning. They're now down at 20. So a 3% drop there for Newcastle. So maybe a Newcastle defender's out, or maybe, again, projected goals are roughly the same still, but yeah, bit of a drop there in terms of that one. So maybe one to monitor. What else have we got? I'm just trying to see if there's any other big shakers or shifters. Leeds, a big drop for Leeds, by the way, in terms of their projected cleans here. 15, 14, 16. Yeah, kind of a drop there. West Ham's projected goals going up. Leeds kind of staying the same. Yeah. Again, we'll keep our eyes peeled for any of these kind of, big shifts in terms of movements. Arsenal's obviously projected goals and Palace's clean sheet ones going up does suggest to me that there is going to be an attacker that is out. No, I've not made any transfers yet. I won't be making any on today's stream either. We'll be doing them like dead late at the deadline. Do keep your questions coming in, guys. Like I said, likewise, we are closing in on 250, and it'd be great to end the season with a mega stream. So thank you very much. I reckon we'll probably expect them around like the last hour or so. Yeah, last hour or so. Yeah, there's going to be mass changes, isn't there? There is going to be mass changes. There'll be quite a few changes, I reckon, like close to the deadline and stuff. Do keep your questions coming in, guys. Anything you want to know ahead of the deadline, we'll try and help you out as best as we possibly can. See what Tom's done in his stream. Will Rice start? He was very low on the jump the way predictions. Very low, and I'm going to probably get rid of him. Yeah, he'll be gone. He'll be gone. Looking at Tom's team for today. Again, I guess he's just waiting for early team news, isn't he? You'd imagine so, yeah. You'd imagine so. He's not reliable at all. I've seen quite a few people block him. He's not reliable at all. Cool, man. Have you sent it into there's like a deadline section? If you send it in the deadline section under my stream one, that would be the place to leave your team for review. The other team review section is just for like everybody in the chat, so people in the chat will just review you. If you want it reviewed on the deadline stream, come to the deadline section, and then there'll be a bit that says my name. Click it there. I mean, if you're winning your mini league, you should be fine, mate. 23 points is a big gap. Very big gap. Yeah, I'd start all my Bournemouth players. I'd probably start all my Bournemouth players that I've got today. I'd start my Bournemouth. I'd start my Brighton players. Anybody that's still got something to play for, I would still be starting them. Depends who you're bringing them in for. Depends who you're bringing them in for. I don't think Everton can quite get European football. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. But I don't think they can quite get it. Palace definitely will have a B squad rolled out. Their big game is obviously midweek. So yeah, they're going to have a very one. Sobo for Rice, I like that move, yep. I mean, Bournemouth players are fine. Like, genuinely, they're very good. They're still very good players. So yeah, play them. Again, I wouldn't be finalizing, I wouldn't be making any transfers until we get, close to the deadline. We're going to get leaks. We're going to get information. That is going to be your number one friend today. Holding and having a little bit of patience. Don't make any early moves. Don't commit to any early transfers either. All right. Richarlison or Welbeck? Probably Welbeck. Yes, that's what everyone wants. Nobody wants Spurs in the league. Nobody wants Spurs in the league. 1 point gap in my mini league. £250 on the line. Wow. I wish I could play in paid mini leagues. None of my friends want to do it anymore. But I might actually lose my mini league this year. So yeah. João Pedro, we're going to have to wait again if we get anything. Instagram story, you put one up yesterday for that. So we'll have to wait and see. Have to wait and see. We only need 5 more likes, by the way, guys, to hit 250 on today's stream. So if you have enjoyed the stream, make sure you are hitting that like button. It is really appreciated, as always. And we only need 1 more subscriber to hit 28.6 as well. Thank you, man. I've just seen you put your team in the Discord. Let's go ahead and have a look at that. Right, let's take a look at this then, mate. 4 transfers. Thinking Thiago to Richarlison, Rodgers to Gibbs White, Wilson to Bruno G, O'Reilly to Mavropanos. Just my early thoughts. I do like the move you've suggested here, mate. Yeah, I do like the moves you've suggested. I do like them. Rodgers to Gibbs White, Wilson to Bruno G. The only one I've got a little bit of doubt on is around Bruno G. He was 88% in the jump the way predictions. Only one predictor didn't have him starting. I personally think he will start. Again, let's just wait and see. But yeah, I think the plans that you've got there with the 4-3s, pretty decent. And you've already got some nice players as well in here that, can cover already. Like, you can get a back three definitely out of that side already. Virgil, Tark, Mook are all going to start. So if you really wanted to pack the midfield, you could go Wilson, Rodgers, Cherky out. If you really wanted to pack the midfield, go Sobbo, Bruno G, and then maybe an Anthony or something like that, and go like a 5-man midfield and just bench Thiago. That could be another route that you maybe could look at. Because I think you will get Verge, Tark, and Mook already playing. So just a thought. Just a thought there, mate. Maybe as a bit of a differential route to potentially look at as well in terms of something you might want to maybe go for. But yeah, obviously we'll try and keep you posted in the Discord as much as possible with team news and stuff like that. How confident am I? I think, yeah, he'll play. I think he'll play. Bowen or JP? I'd rather have Bowen. No worries, man. No worries. That's what we're here for. Like I said, I think you've already got that back three. And we spoke about it earlier in the stream. We said that the past 10 out of 11 seasons, on the final day, there's been less clean sheets and more goals than across the course of the season, like for an average game week. So as a whole and as a trend, more goals usually do happen on this final game of the season. Now, that maybe goes out the window this season, given how crap things have been defensively, just everyone a bit stale. Or maybe it could just explode on the final day. Who knows? Who ultimately knows? But yeah, I think maybe stacking that midfield out might be the route to go for. As of yet, we have nothing. I will just check Twitter, make sure we've got nothing on there. Thank you very much, by the way, guys, for 28.6k. Love you lots. We will try and, yeah. Nothing as of yet. We're still waiting. There was one murmur on socials, but from a hit and miss account that Semenyo's benched. But like I said, very hit and miss account, so I'm not buying into it. Senesi in for O'Reilly, don't mind that. Bench Vanderberg or Hill, bench Vanderberg, play Hill. Hill's a beast. You got to play Hill. Yeah, you got to play Hill. Got to play Hill. Yeah, I'm keeping Cherky unless, again, we find out information. Ultimately, like I said, my squad is going to be so dependent on late information we get heading into the deadline. I don't mind those moves, yeah. João Pedro and Rodgers out, Bowen and Elliot Anderson, yep. I probably would rather go for a Liverpool mid than Palmer. Yeah, I'm not feeling Palmer. Not for me anyway. I just don't feel it. Any moves I can make. Again, we're gonna have to wait and see on leaks we get for Arsenal and City before heading into it. So yeah. I have Raya and Henderson as my GKs. What do I do? GKs I wouldn't worry about. There's such a low scoring position that I personally wouldn't care if I didn't if I was playing with 10 and my goalkeeper wasn't playing. It's not the end of the world. Which club do I support? I support Mansfield in League One. They're my boys. Trossard's Foden, again, depending on what team news we get. Yeah, Porro, Virgil, Hill, pretty decent back line. Pretty steady back line that. You can't complain at that. Gibbs White or Sobo for Saka. I do have James Hill. I personally would lean more towards Sobo. Will Saka Gabriel start? I don't think Saka will. I'm not 100% on what's going to happen with Gabriel. The clean sheet numbers haven't really changed. The projected goal numbers from the betting markets have, suggesting that an attacker is definitely going to be benched. So yeah, I personally would probably go down that route. Do keep your questions in, guys. Anything you want to know ahead of the deadline, do let me know. Looks like you've put it in Tom's stream. So yeah, the other Tom's stream. Is Hill a good move? Yeah, I like Hill. He will get you DEFCON. Bournemouth still have something to play for as well. No, he's not. He won't start till the 1st of June, I believe. I personally would go for Bruggen. Yeah, I personally would go for Bruggen on that one. Probably would bench Rodon or Wilson. I don't know what that means, but I don't know what that means in terms of betting. All we're looking at is projected goals, and we're seeing them drop. On the jump the way predictions, he's at 0. Will Strout play? I think Leeds will probably rotate. We've seen their clean sheet numbers come down, actually, over the past few hours as well. I personally would sell Saka for Sobo, but Anderson is a very consistent, steady 4-pointer, isn't he? Nothing as of yet. There was a rumor going around about Semenyo potentially being benched, but it's not from a 100% reliable source, so I'm not buying it. Yeah, I'm not buying it. Probably bench Wilson. Oh yeah, Saka won't start. Yep, reviewing teams in the Discord, mate, as always. I mean, there is that, but remember, Arsenal do have the Champions League final. Like that's their focus now. The Premier League's wrapped up. Champions League is now the focus. Okay, so do bear that in mind. That is where everything is going to be going for them. Probably be looking to take like Saka out again. Just wait and see what team news we do get. Saliba will start. Don't think so. Like I said, mate, I think you've shared it into Golden's one, not into my one. Let me have a look. Yeah, it looks like you've shared it into Golden's stream. If you want to put it in my one, that'd be greatly appreciated, mate. Mine's literally the one below it. That's all you got to do. Oh, mate, yeah. I reckon around the World Cup we'll probably hit 30k subs. We'll probably hit 30k subs around the World Cup, which will be exciting. And then we'll see where the new season takes us. Obviously, we'll be straight back on it, pushing and stuff. Top 3 must-haves for a wild card. Bowen, definitely. Bruno Fernandes. Is there a third? I genuinely don't think there is a third. Yeah, I can see it now, mate. Cool. Let's go ahead and take a look at that for you. 2 free transfers. I think it probably could be Saka, Trossard, probably going to be the ones that will make way here. Sobo, Bruno G, Enzo Fernandez, Anthony, Tavernier, Minte. They're probably going to be the options you're going to be looking at for the Saka and Trossard replacements. Because ultimately, you can get a back three out of Senesi, Hill, Van Heck. Tavernier, Bruno Fernandez, probably Semenyo play. So yeah, then it is kind of changing one of those. João Pedro. So yeah, that's probably where I would be at in terms of it. We're going to have to wait for, like I said, every team review is... Yeah, kind of every team review is really kind of hard to give at the moment because I think we're just going to have to wait for the news that we get before pulling the trigger on any certain moves. So all I'm doing is trying to give you options rather than like decisive things or give you scenarios that you can play out. And if Haaland's benched, Haaland, Saka, Salah, like maybe like a Thiago or a Bowen, boom, there you go. There you go. Can see someone's typing in the chat, so I'm just going to leave it open for a second and see if they put their team in. There we go. Thoughts on who's captain? I'm thinking about Bruno or Bowen because I want to be different and gain some points in my mini league. But if Haaland starts, then I don't know. I think if Haaland starts, you go with him. Otherwise, I'm personally looking at Bruno, Bowen, Salah. They're the three that I'm looking at. I like Bowen. Leeds as well, their most vulnerable position and first in the league for goal involvements conceded to right wingers. So it does look very, very decent for Jarrod Bowen as a potential captaincy option for this week. So I like the Bowen captaincy punt. I really do. I put him as number 1 on the TikTok for this game week. So hopefully, yeah, again, could be a big one. If Haaland's starting, though, I think I'm probably still going to go with Haaland for captaincy for this game week. If you want to join the Discord, there is a link in the description, or you can come and check it out in the comments right there. Oh, error, try again. Okay, maybe not. There we go. There we go. Yeah, get yourself involved in the FPL Cartel Discord. We'll have plenty going off in the World Cup as well. So yeah, lots coming your way over the next few weeks. Exciting stuff, guys. Exciting stuff, honestly. I don't mind it. Yeah, I don't mind that as a hit. I think if you could just get away without doing the hit, though, like you said there, Sobo, Foden, Morgan gives White could also be pretty decent options. Because unless you're going to captain Bruno, you're probably still not going to gain anything out of him. Just seen Ross is all suited and booted. Probably should have worn a suit, but hey-ho. We're in a footy shirt. Yeah, we'll be playing... we're playing the World Cup fantasy game. And we'll be making content on it as well for you guys. I'm 22k overall, 30 points behind my mini league. I don't know what to do. I'll just leave my team. Without seeing the team, it's hard to comment, really, isn't it? But you're in a very good ranked place, so I imagine your team's good. Hopefully you can do it again. Hopefully you can do it again. 1 free transfer. Thinking of DCL to Bowen or Semenyo to Sobo. I would probably wait on the team news and see what we get in terms of City. If Semenyo is going to start, I definitely would probably do the DCL to Bowen one instead. The game has yet to be released, but obviously we'll start 11th of June, the first first match day of the season. So, like I said, we'll have content as soon as the game drops. I'm hoping the game drops tomorrow. It's a bank holiday in the UK. I can get some content ready for you guys. Get my first team out there as well. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. The official World Cup game hasn't been released yet. It will be released by FIFA. Yeah, it'll be released by FIFA, that one. Probably more likely to do DCL rather than Thiago. Brentford have still got something to play for. Liverpool defensively, pretty questionable as well. Pretty questionable. Bench Cherky, Gahey, or Dewsbury Hall? Probably Cherky out of all of those. Yeah, you probably bench Cherky, right? You probably bench Cherky. He's probably the one that you get away with benching there, I reckon. No worries, man. Pedro or DCL to Bowen? More likely probably to Pedro, just because we don't know yet if he's going to start the game. If he is, then probably more likely to do the DCL one, yeah. Who do I think are the top three mids apart from Bruno? I think Salah definitely will be up there just because of his final game, everything like that. Maybe a Brighton attacker, maybe an like. There's so many like could be players this week. There isn't like another one that I would say is like absolute must have gold standard. Like there's so many players that could deliver. So yeah, it's hard to say really. It's hard to say. Oh, is it bad to have Gabriel and Saliba? We'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see what info comes out. Oh, cheers, man. Appreciated. Appreciated. Obviously, we'll be wrapping up things in a little bit. But yeah, I said this earlier in the stream. I'm so grateful for everybody this season that's watched the video, subscribed, liked, commented, anything you've done, because we've ultimately built something amazing this season. Let's take it into the World Cup. Let's continue it heading into next season as well. But I can't thank you guys enough for your continued support on the channel. It has been immense this season. And yeah, let's just keep on ticking, man. Let's keep on ticking, keep on cooking, see ultimately where we can get this channel, see where we can get things going. And I can only thank you again for everything that you've done this season. So yeah, thank you very much. Gross versus Cherky. I probably will play Gross if we don't get any City news. If we get City news and Cherky's playing, play Cherky. There you go. Whew. I do not work in a bank. I definitely don't work in a bank. Yeah, 13 million. Wild. Wild. No team news as of yet. We'll try and keep you guys posted as best as we possibly can. I know a few of the big boys are going live as well, and people are dipping out as well. So thank you for if you've been along for the ride, and obviously go and check out your more bigger established one. Henderson keeper versus Darlow. I'd probably play Darlow. Do you think Wilson will play? I don't. Last question for the season. Do I bring in Dalot for Richards? I would go nowhere near Dalot, by the way. Do not go anywhere near Dalot, is what I'm going to recommend to you. That guy is the biggest troll ever. So yeah, I personally won't go for him. Is it a punt week? Yeah, I think it's a punt week. I think it's a pretty punty week, isn't it? Do you get your questions coming in, guys? Anything you want to know ahead of the deadline, do let me know. Saw or Brobby? I mean, I don't think Saw is probably going to play today. I think they'll rotate quite heavily heading into their European game. So yeah, I probably wouldn't look at Saw. Probably wouldn't look at Saw. Right, guys, we're at 280 likes. Let's see if we can try and hit 300 before we wrap up today. If you haven't already, let's smash the like button. See if we can end today's stream on 300 likes. End the season in style. And I will do a sing song for 300 likes, okay? If we get 300 likes, I'll sing a song. We'll stay alive for another 5 minutes. We'll see where we can get to. We'll answer some questions as well. What rank am I currently at? I'm at 180. We've had a terrible season. We want to get back to that rank right there. Start Roofs or the Bruggen? Probably the Bruggen. Yeah, that's probably where I would go on that one. You might have to put your question in again, mate. Or if you want to put it in the Discord, like I said, in 5-10 minutes, I will be in the Discord answering questions as well. Gibbs White or Sobbo? I personally go Sobbo, but maybe Gibbs White's got a point to prove after being left out of the World Cup squad as well. Maybe, who knows? Who knows? Let's see where we can get to with the likes. We're at 288. Like I said, 300, and we'll do a sing song. We'll do a sing song, all right? We'll do a sing song. 290. Come on, you all want to see it. You all want to see one final sing song for the season. Bigger question is what song are we going to go for? That's the bigger question. I personally would go the Bruggen over Darlow this week. Yeah, that's where I personally would go for it. I think we'd probably go for like... I don't have my headphones, I don't think. Oh, I'll have to like plug my other ones in somewhere. Whoops. Yeah, I probably would leave that. I probably would leave that like that, mate. Yeah. 296. Whew. I got a go-to song, but I'm happy to take requests. I'm happy to take requests if I know the song. Madonna Like a Prayer. Which one's that one? We still need 4 more likes before it happens, by the way. 4 more people are going to hit that like button before it happens. But yeah, if people want to put requests in, we can do some requests. From Gabriel O'Reilly, Chow, Van Heck, Mook, who would be your ideal back 3? Again, depending on what we get leaked. If Gabriel's going to start, I'd go Gabriel, O'Reilly, Chow. If he's not going to start, I think you could just play Chow, Van Heck, and Mook if we get the right ones as well. Can I lock in Roger to Sobbo now? Probably. Again, depends on like the leaks we're going to get. We have hit 300 likes, so we're going to have a sing song. All right, I just need to grab some headphones or something to make this happen. I don't know where I put my actual headphones. I thought I put them on the bed. I think they must be in the bathroom or something. Right. We will get... we'll get these plugged in to my laptop. And then we'll have it. Arsenal anthem. North London forever. Whatever the weather. Right, I've got these bad boys plugged in. Get them in. And let's do this thing. Okay, Spotify. Get that bad boy up. Like I said, guys, before we wrap up today's stream, I do want to just say I'm massively grateful for everybody on the channel hitting like, hitting subscribe. It really, really is appreciated as always. This season's been incredible. We'll be back for World Cup content. We'll be making plenty more content next season as well. Yeah, I can't thank you enough for everything that you've done this season. It really is appreciated. And yeah, hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button if you're new here. We're going to go for my favourite song. And a song I've sung a few times on this channel as well. It's going to be Can't Take My Eyes Off You by Andy Williams. If you've been around the channel for a while, you know I absolutely love this song. And yeah, it's a favourite. And if you've ever watched any sporting events, you're probably familiar with it. Probably very familiar with it. But we're going to end the season in style. And we're going to give it a good bash. All right. Thank you so much. Long last love has arrived. I need the lyrics. Where are the lyrics? God, I'm alive. Let's get on the solo one. Let's do this. Let's end it in style, ladies and gentlemen. So off of you, pardon the way that I stand. I've nothing else to command. Have they got the lyrics? They have. The view leaves me weak. There are no words left to speak. But if you feel like I feel, please let me know that it's real. You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you. Do 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 do. I love you, baby, and if it's quite alright, I need you, baby, till on my lonely night. I love you, baby. Trust in me when I say, oh, pretty baby, don't bring me down, I pray. Oh, pretty baby, now that I've found you, stay. Oh, let me love you, baby. Yes, I love you. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for another amazing season. Honestly, it's been insane. Can't thank you enough for all your support. Get yourself in the FPL Cartel Discord. Bowen's going to get a hat-trick today. Spurs are going down. West Ham are staying up. I'll see you for the World Cup content as well. Like I said, thank you very much for an amazing season. You are the best. And the best of luck for the final game week of the season.